Hey Boo Crew, I'm Met Monster High. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my podcast because here we have tiny bags, but we have big opinions. So get your tiniest bag, get your big opinions, and let's talk because today we're going to be talking about something I'm very passionate about, which is scalpers and resellers. So if you also dislike them with every inch of your soul, this is the right episode for you. If you're back, welcome back. Sorry, I can't. I'm already laughing because, girl, I have so much to say, as you know. But, anyways, just if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Leave me a bunch of comments. I love that you guys left me a bunch of comments. On episode 1, we are fired up. I think I was able to respond to everyone, and if I haven't, I'll get there. So go ahead and, comment away. Let's share our experiences and our frustrations, and this is what we're here for, right? So this is our own little space to vent and rant, and it's therapeutic. And I mean, it's been therapeutic for me. So anyways, if you don't know me, I'm a doll collector. I collect mostly Monster High dolls, and you can find me anywhere at Met Monster High. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I'm not on Facebook, nor do I intend to be on Facebook. No offense if you like Facebook, but anywhere else you can find me. But wow. Okay, so last episode, I just want to say thank you to everyone who interacted, commented, shared, watched, and you have no idea how much this means to me. And I mean this because it's so much work. It goes so much work into it. So much work goes into it. And it's just the fact that you care. It goes a long way and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And we are so ready. By the way, we're going to do this in 3 steps, right? So first step here, I want to talk about the new drops. And, I posted a little video about the Edward Scissorhands Monster High doll, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it just because the first episode, I took the first step to introduce myself and tell you how I got into dolls and how I got into doll collecting. So, first step here moving forward is going to be whatever's going on for news and leaks and drama, whatever. And then step 2, we're going to go into the hot topic of the week, which in this case, this week is scalpers. And then 3, I'm going to answer your questions that you send me on my Instagram for my Q&A. So let's go ahead and start talking about this week's events. Well, we got caught off guard again. We were not expecting another collector doll. Well, we were, but we weren't. We didn't see any leaks about Edward Scissorhands. Of course, there's always talks about it because why wouldn't they do that? But we got Mattel news there, and they announced that the doll's coming out on December 4th. And if you're watching this on Wednesday, it's, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving of 2025. If you're in the future, oh my God. But if you're in the present, yeah. So next week, we're going to get that doll. It's going to be out. My thoughts on it. I'm also going to put pictures on the screen. But, I'm not the craziest, Edward Scissorhands fan. So, of course, I'm not going to be as picky because, it's not my fandom, if versus when it's something I'm really passionate about, if they ever came out with Scream dolls, which is my favorite horror franchise of all time, I'd be very critical probably. But so I don't really I hate talking about something, and you probably know this about me already, but I hate talking about something that I feel it's not my place, or that I don't have anything really to add in terms of yeah, I got that reference, I know what that's about, and they should have done this and that and the other. You'll never catch me talking about something unless I'm really 100% certain of what I'm talking about. And that's one thing I love about me, not to be narcissistic here, but you will never catch me talking about something that I haven't done my research on. So yeah. But overall, I think it's an okay doll, not for the price. I'm so sick of everything being $70, $80, $90, $100. Girl, that adds up. And I know that somebody at Mattel one day thought, I don't know, oh, these dolls are not worth $50. They're worth $70 because before they used to be 50-ish bucks for a singular doll, 75 maximum for a really, really elaborated doll. Like now we're getting $70 dolls that should be like $50 because they are not as detailed or high end in quality. Plus, not to mention the fact that we're getting AI slops on the boxes after the designer layoffs. Mattel, I love you. And if somebody from Mattel is watching me, which I highly doubt, but if you're watching me, I don't want to kiss your ass, but like, obviously I love you because I spend so much money on your products. But like, come on, we deserve better. I deserve better than this because these prices are going nuts. And yes, they blamed it on the tariffs at first, but it's like, girl, there's only so much the tariffs will do. Like, this is not the tariffs. This is you being greedy and taking advantage and the opportunity into something that was very political and very like, oh, we have no say on this. No, you kind of do. Like, you raise the prices way too much. The tariffs are like, oh, it's going to be like $2, $3, up to $5 per doll, which we've seen on Playline, right? So dolls that used to be, I don't know, $24.99 are now $29.99. Like, that's a big bump, okay? Even if they're like $27.99, okay, whatever. But like, the Scalpers went from $50 for a singular doll, or like $55. I don't remember exactly how much they used to cost, but I think like, I have a feeling they were like $55 and $60. Now they're $70 for one singular doll. And mind you, again, with an AI box that we don't even want the boxes anymore. If you're going to do that, just give me a plain box with Edward Scissorhands on it and a Monster High logo. I'll be happy. Like, I'll take that over AI. And second of all, the dolls are not even as detailed anymore because you're dropping so much. And that's a whole nother topic that I will talk about like in the future. But I did a video about it on like a shorts or Instagram reels or TikTok, whatever you watch my short form videos. But that's the same video that I did about the Edward Scissorhands. I talked about the fact that like, hey, can we slow down? Because not only the prices are way too high, but the dolls are coming in waves. Like, what? Like, there's no need to drop like multiple dolls in the same month. I'm sorry, we don't need that. I don't need that. And like, we can barely enjoy the dolls anymore. Like, I think for like the past collector ones, sorry, I'm looking at my dolls right now. I'm like turning around, but like Us, this Collector 2-pack, Emily Corpse Bride, what else? The Wednesday, the Bianca doll, like Xenomorph, Claudine, House of Wolf, like all of these dolls came out so close together that like, honestly, another thing that I'm all over the place. I feel like, no, I'm not. I'm making sense. I hope I am. Because like, not only that, but some dolls didn't even ship and you're already announcing a new doll. Where are my Grady twins? They're not here yet. I have another doll. There's another doll that I'm still waiting to be shipped. But like, the Grady twins, they're not even here yet. Why are you announcing a new doll when you haven't even shipped the old one? Like, let's be so for real. And then on top of that, shipping. Why don't we get free shipping? Right? Because let's be really honest. We pay for the membership. I do. Yeah, it's not much, $10 a year, but that's $10 a year for nothing. You get early access. Okay, a lot of people do, and they're not able to get the dolls during the early access. Why? Then there are no perks. What are the perks? Oh, you have the chance to buy, you might have the chance to buy these dolls before the general sale. With all due respect, fuck it. Like, I don't want it. Like, if that's what it's going to be like, because the only dolls that are actually exclusive to members are other slops, which Fan Club, that one's usually good, but, and then like the once a year, like the members only, like we had Operetta this year, we had Venus, like we had, I think Gulux Gulia was also, like, don't quote me on that, but so yes, there are perks here and there, but like, they don't really justify like paying for it every year if you're one, not going to get those dolls that you want to get because they're going to sell out before you can even cash out, or you're not going to get free shipping. Because I'm sorry, not to be the person that brings up other brands and compare them to Mattel, but Mattel, you're up high there. You're literally probably you are way richer than MGA. Then why the heck is MGA offering free shipping if you spend $50 plus, which usually Bratz collector dolls are like $60, so you always like never have to pay for shipping? Because I buy a ton of Bratz. from the Bratz website, you don't have to pay shipping. And don't even get me started on the quality, because they use like really like high-end fabric materials and yada yada and hair on their dolls, and they're cheaper. And you can even say that they don't have the same acknowledgement, fame, whatever, because yes, even though Barbie is bigger, like, and Monster High, I think it's bigger than Bratz, like in terms of like, you know, sales and whatever, but they're still putting a number on you, Mattel, and I think that's embarrassing for you as a billionaire company. Not that MJ isn't. I'm pretty sure they are, or if not, they're high millions, whatever. Again, like I said, I hate to state things that I haven't done my research on, but I'm pretty sure you guys are not technically on the same exact level. Then why are they doing better than you are? Like, be so for real right now. So I think there's something there that we need to, you know, open our eyes to. Not only we're getting so many collectors, but we're also getting a ton of playline. And again, they're not cheap anymore. Unless you're talking about the Buried Secrets, which used to be $15. Now they're $17. I haven't even unboxed them yet, but like I just bought the new wave, like the tennis ghouls, whatever. It was $60 for all of them. Are you kidding me? Wait, more than $60. Because they were $16, $17 each. Bought 4 of them. You do the math. Almost $70 for those raggedy dolls that are like no quality. I'm sorry. Yes, I bought them. Matt, why did you buy them? Because I'm a completionist and I literally have, I'm not saying this to brag, it's just a fact that I'm stating. I have every single Monster High Generation 3 doll in existence. So yes, I will be completing them. So yeah, I don't think they should be that much because they're raggedy as heck. They don't have articulation. They have poly hair. They are pixelated. And I get it. They are supposed to be that. So lower the price. Lower the price because it just doesn't really justify it. Anyways, as you can tell, I love Monster High, but I will never defend Mattel for things that are like somebody commented like, well, it's our fault. I'm sorry. The person was like on my Instagram, like, it's actually our fault because we told Mattel that we would pay these prices. Bitch, no. Not here. Not here. No, that's not it. That's not like you missed the plot. Okay, go ahead. Go buy your collector doll for whatever amount. Or go buy from Scalpers because they'll be happy to take your money for triple the price, which now leads us to part 2 where we're going to talk about Scalpers. Now I'm going to take a little water break and we'll be right back. We're going to talk about how Scalpers affects the community and how I wish they were gone. Let's go. And we're so back. We're going to be talking about some of the worst people in the world. Yeah, in the planet. And they don't even only ruin the doll community. They ruin the Pokemon community, the vinyl collecting community, you name it. You name it, they ruin everything for everybody. If you have a hobby, they're probably ruining it. If it involves collecting something of any kind, they are scalpers and resellers, which I got into an argument with somebody once. They were like, they're not the same, honey. Scalpers and resellers, bitch, as they are. Because if you're not scalping, then why are you reselling? Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to buy a Monster High doll for $30 and resell it for $30 because ideally that's what this person was like. Some people just sell them for regular price or for like $5 over. If you're making profit, you are scalping. There is no difference. I just want to say that. And if you have a great argument and you want to fight, definitely leave it in the comments. But like, girl, no. Resellers, scalpers, whatever you want to call them, they're all the same. I had to deal with one, and I want to tell this story real fast before we get started because I have dealt with scalpers face to face. I used to work during my retail era. When I worked in retail, I worked at Box Lunch. If you guys don't know, it's like a Hot Topic sister company. They sell mostly like Disney and Loungefly bags and like higher end like Disney merch kind of vibes. So we would get a bunch of collectibles in shipment, like Funko Pops and Loungefly bags that have or used to, I don't even know if they do anymore, but like high resale prices. And especially overseas, like in Europe or other countries where they wouldn't get like some bags and Funko Pops. And as you know, there's like SDCC exclusive, New York Comic Con exclusive. Like, we'd have this guy. He would come in a lot. Not gonna name drop. Not that he's ever gonna see this video. I highly doubt. But we're gonna call him Rob. So Rob would come in with his whole family sometimes, because we'd have a limit on how much he would buy. Also, he was someone we had in the file on file as a reseller, and like he wasn't allowed to use points and rewards and things like that, because he would, like, mind you, this is not an assumption. He told us, like, I'm a reseller, so I buy these things to resell. And no, there's not a policy that they could have gotten him, like, if he wasn't abusing the system, we couldn't have gotten him, trespassed or anything like that. We'd just have to deal with him. But, so we knew his whole family, so like nobody could come in and pretend and whatnot. Anyways, it was a whole thing. We had to deal with that man for years. I was there for 2 years, and for the 2 years that I was there, we had to deal with him until he moved. But, ridiculous and gross, because we would have people line up out the store when we were like dropping a new Loungefly or a special like Chase Funko Pops and things like that. He would be in line, and let's say 2 per customer, like 1 per customer. He'd be like, yeah, I have my son, so he's gonna get one. I have me, I'm gonna get one. Sometimes he would bring his wife and son, and you'd be like, okay, so give me 3 of those, because I have 3 people. And he would do 3 separate transactions, and there was nothing we could have done to stop him. So I had to see that firsthand many, many times. So no, I don't like scalpers. I had to deal with them in real life as well. And they are shady as fuck. They are shady. And again, I already said it. I'm going to curse. Sorry. I know there's someone that watches me with their kid. I'm so sorry. I hope this is okay. But I'm gonna curse. I'm just way too pissed. But I would have to deal with him in real life, and that taught me a lesson. Those people suck. And no, they're not like, oh no, but maybe they don't know what they're doing. These people are intention people. They know the intentions behind their actions. Like, that was his job. He didn't have a part-time job. He didn't have a full-time job. That was his full-time job. These people, they do that. So they infiltrate the community. They see what's up. They see what's selling, and they resell things. He would resell them on eBay, and he got his money. Now, I do not have empathy or sympathy for any resellers or scalpers. Mind you, I was scalped once by a community, by a doll community member that I'm no longer friends with, obviously for other reasons, but that was one of the reasons why I was like, that person's shady as heck. And it's the type of person that then will like make you the villain to fit their narrative and tell everybody that you are the villain and they're not. When, let me tell you something, this person, which I'm not going to name drop because they are in the community and they're better off. If you're seeing this and you know I'm talking about you, just ignore me. Move on. I'm not going to say your name. I could not care less about you. There was this Barbie doll that I wanted that was sold out. Back then I was going through some family issues and like it just went over my head and never got her. I saw a lot of people were reselling her for like $200+ on eBay back then, and I was gonna buy her, but that was before she even came out. She was pre-ordered, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it. That's a lot of money. Like, she's not even worth that much. And back then I was talking to this person, and I saw that this person buys multiple dolls. That was the first red flag. Multiple dolls of the same dolls every time, and people would call them out and be like, you're a reseller, and this person would always deny. And I found out that yes, actually this person told me once that they were a reseller. And I stayed quiet like a good friend does, and I was like, okay, you do you, whatever. And I was like, do you happen to have multiples of that specific Barbie? And he was like, yeah, actually I do. I was like, okay, can you sell me one? Like, and he was like, yeah, actually, like, I won't charge you like more than what she's worth. And then I go and I buy it, and I was like, okay, that's way less than what people are selling on eBay. So wow, this person's probably like actually my friend, and they're not scalping me. Okay, so I paid them. It was over $100, by the way. And then I go back to after the drop, like that, like people actually got her in shipment and he shipped her to me and whatnot. And when I go back to eBay, people are selling her for less than what I paid this person in the community. I could have bought her for less. I was so pissed. You guys have no idea. I felt so betrayed. Like a huge knife. I still have the scar on my back, obviously, of that knife, but huge knife on my back. Someone from the community lied to me, pretended they were like helping me out. And like at one point I was like, oh, maybe they are because like they're selling me for way less. And then I went back because I never checked back on eBay after I paid him and he shipped the doll and I got it. And then when I went on eBay, people are selling her for less. So yeah, I got scalped in the community. So no, let me tell you something. I have no empathy. And guess what? I've helped people in the community and I've been helped before. I'm also going to call her name out because she's amazing and I feel like she deserves it. I have a thing for trinkets. One of my friends, she sold me the rare find Barbie midge with the midge screening for regular price. And I sold her, back then I was getting rid of my Creature from the Black Lagoon for normal price. So mind you, if you're in the community and you can help someone out, just help them out. Why are you scalping people in the community? That's so shady. Like, get out of here. Like, you make me sick. Now, obviously, if you paid a specific amount of dollars for a doll, you're going to resell her for whatever you paid for. I would never resell my Pennywise for less than what I paid for her. I paid what, $1,200 or $1,000, something like that. I think $1,000 even. I think was it 1,000? Yeah, she was $1,200. I sent a bid for $1,000, which I'm not proud of. We already talked about it, and I'm gonna get to that point of getting ahead of myself. But I would never sell her for less than what I paid for because I'm not an idiot. So if I'm ever selling her, obviously I'm gonna sell her for what I paid for it. But if I pay retail price for a doll, I will sell that doll for the amount that I paid for, because I'm not gonna lose money because I'm not stupid, but I'm not gonna mark it up just to take advantage of someone. No, ever. If I decide I want to get rid of my like xenomorph, how much was she? $90 for regular price. I'll sell her for $90. I'm never gonna sell her for $200. No, I'm not gonna do that to somebody. That's how much I paid. I just want my money back. So the idea of buying something for its retail price and reselling it for more, you are shady and I hope you burn. And you literally, these people, these resellers, they clock in. That's their job. Last year for Record Store Day, I wanted the Wicked limited edition vinyl. I got there, mind you, I know that's insane. They only had 2 copies. I ended up getting it from a different store, but for regular price, obviously. But I got there to my local Newburgh Comics at 9 p.m. at night, and I was going to camp there until the morning to get the vinyl. There were 2 resellers in line already. And they look at me and they go like, yeah, it's payday. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because that's payday for them. Because I think that Wicked vinyl now resells for $900, $1,000, and they paid what, $40? So it's like, and then I ended up going to a different store. There was nobody camping there, and then I ended up getting it. I literally spent overnight. You can judge me, but I'd rather do that than drop $900 for vinyl that costs $40. So that applies to dolls. When these people are using bots or whatever they're doing, they are clocking in. That's their job. That's why I don't feel bad. I'll never feel bad. And they can go themselves. Like, I do not care. I could not care less. If I find another person in the doll community that's been doing this, I will expose them, because I could have exposed a ton of stuff, but next time it won't be forgiven. I don't mess with resellers. I don't like you. I think you are shady as heck and you're ruining it for everybody, because who decided that a doll was $1,000? A doll that was how much? $50? Are you kidding me? But again, when I say I don't think it's our fault that Mattel charges the prices they charge because they're a billionaire company, but Scalpers, yeah, it's our fault. As soon as someone decides to pay that much money for a doll, then they become part of the problem. I've been part of the problem. Not that I started it, obviously. Like, I wasn't the first person who bought that doll for that price, but I'm not gonna I'm not exempt from that guilt, from being from partaking into this not idea, but this culture that reselling is. Now, I will say Pennywise was my last. You won't catch me paying that much for a doll ever again. I'd rather not have a doll than pay reseller prices. Now, can Mattel do better with their bot protection? 100%. Mattel, MGA, all these brands, they could be avoiding that issue, because that's a huge issue in the community that I don't think it's fair to anybody at all. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't want to expose anyone, but that's my experience with scalpers and resellers, and that's why I don't feel empathy, because I've dealt with them outside of the doll community, in the doll community, and the scalpers that are not part of the doll community, but they're scalping us doll collectors. So yeah, here's my 2 cents. I hope any of that makes sense. Let me know your opinion down in the comments as well. But yeah, now we're going to go for a little water break again. And next, I'll be answering to some of your questions. And we are so back. I am so excited to answer all of your questions. This is probably my favorite part, just because I get to interact with you and ignite that curiosity that you guys might have about me or my collecting journey or my dolls. So I have the questions here on my iPad, and we're gonna go. And I made sure to include, if you wanted to keep your question as anonymous, just put a little like star sign at the end, and then I'll not bring up your name or your username. So I think some of y'all did that, so I won't be calling out your name, just so you know. I'm not gonna expose you if you don't want to be exposed. All right, so first question is from Mr. 13 Wishes. There's a couple questions in there. What is your favorite queer Monster High couple character, headcanon or canon? I would say, honestly, Twyla and Howleen, because why not? But I also love Rebecca and Venus. Just saying. And what is your favorite Monster High villain? I think it would be Kieran Valentine. Obsessed. I love lesbians. That's why they're my, and Claudine and Twyla. And oh my gosh, Claudine and Twyla. Claudine and Toralei too. But yeah. Thanks for the questions. Sina Arbor, do you have any hobbies other than dolls, like maybe video games? I do play video games. I play Animal Crossing and Disney Dreamlight Valley, sometimes Cult of the Lamb. But I love drawing. I love music. I love arts. So yeah, I actually do have a lot of hobbies, actually. Great question. Thank you. What kind of collector doll would you love to see in the future? I think I said it on my previous video, and I say this all the time, just for the record. Scream, just because that's my favorite horror franchise. Definitely need. And thanks for the question as well. Dude Sells, any tips on how to spot Buried Secrets 3 characters? They all have the stage lights at the top. Oh, okay, yeah. So if for us in the US, like, you have to kind of like squeeze the box a little bit, and then you look inside in the inner corners and walls, and then you'll see the colors. So like, depending on the character, you'll be able to put like 2 and 2 together, be like, oh, this is Gulia, oh, this is Frankie, this is Claudine. So like, you're able to see, like, if you like squeeze the box on the inside, you'll be able to see the colors. I have a video on it. Pilar Montero, if you had to give Monster High characters new names but still lore friendly, what would you name them? Wait, that's a tough one. Honestly, Pilar, I don't think this is the answer that you wanted, but I can't. I think they're so perfectly like named, if that makes sense. I think they're like, I don't know, they're so smart and witty. Like, I can't do that. I can't. But if that answers your question, I love all of the names, and I think they are hilarious, smart, witty, all the above. Yeah. Amazing question, though. You got me thinking there for a minute. I'm like, wow. Silty Bestie. Hi, Bestie. How do you feel about the tons of dolls releasing impulsive buy regrets? Yeah. As I stated before earlier on this episode, actually, so you'll get to see my answer like elaborated. I think it's ridiculous. I think we don't have time to enjoy the dolls anymore. It's more about quantity than quality. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Amazing question. Isabella Nicolish. How many dolls do you have in total? O Brasil te ama. Brazil loves you. Oh my God, I love you. Te amo. For those who don't know, I'm Brazilian and I'm American. I have dual citizenship and I speak Portuguese and English. And amo Brasil. I love Brazil. And how many dolls I have in total? I haven't counted in a while, but 600, 700 probably. Or close to that. Yep. Almost at the thousands. And then she also asked, okay, so it's a 3-in-1 question. Do you feel that the quality of dolls declined over time? I feel that Barbies are becoming increasingly expensive and lower quality. 100%. And that's applying to all Barbies. Like, I thought at first it was just like the fashionistas and just like the very plain line. But no, Barbie's quality is going down, unfortunately, which sucks because, like, girl, like, that's Barbie. Like, she has to be held up to such a high standard because she's Barbie. Like, why is she not getting the treatment she deserves? My opinion. That's my 2 cents. Amazing questions. Te amo. Autumn Callum. Who is your favorite Monster High character and why? And bonus, your favorite doll of them. I actually, so I do have a top 3, right? Which is Twyla, Frankie, and Draculaura. Now, for number 1 favorite character, I will say it's Frankie. So my favorite Frankie doll in Generation 1 will probably be, or you're asking like either Jan. If it's Generation 1, it's really hard for me just because, like, oh my God, I love them all. But, I would say Sweet Screams and School's Out, but I also love the Barbie collaboration, which mine hasn't even shipped yet. But, you know, thanks for the question. Emmanuel Rusleo, would you ever collect or do you collect Disney dolls? I don't actively do, but I have a Disney doll collection. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'm not actively like buying them, but if I see like a new out that's like something that I love, like I avidly collect Cruella de Vil dolls for sure. Like every collector like that they come out with for Cruella or Maleficent, Snow White. So some of my favorite characters I do, but overall no. Tenwin and opinions on unbendable dolls. Am I the only one who is immediately gutted when they are? Yeah. Girl, I don't like dolls that have no articulation. I can put up with it, but I don't like it, and I will never gravitate towards those dolls. Amazing question. Babagachi Basti, if you were pulled into the Monster High universe, what would your name be? 5 traits, and who would you date? Actually, since you asked, I do have an OC character, which is Matt Boogeyman. I'm gonna put a picture here. I have a Generation 1 version and a Generation 3 version. Amazing designers like Jugger Draw like designed my Generation 3 version, which was inspired by obviously Twyla, but also Sully from Monsters, Inc., which is my favorite Pixar movie ever. And I actually have a diary. Okay, that's a secret that I was waiting to spill, but I have the volume 1 of my diary that I wrote, and I'll publish that soon. Maybe, I don't know how, so I'm not going to say anything that I'm going to regret later, but I have it written with the little stories and who I have a crush on and traits and everything. So maybe stay tuned for that, but I love my OC. Gerard Mannequin, love that. Love your profile picture. These days, I've been thinking of doing videos of my dolls for YouTube. What do you recommend? Honestly, my recommendation is do it. Do it, because if you wait, you're never going to do it. That's how I put the trigger for the podcast. Do not regret one bit. Do it. Just do it. Fair Anna, do you collect any other types of dolls? I collect Bratz and Monster High mainly, and then some Barbie in my scene, and Disney dolls, but mostly Monster High and Bratz. Great question. Camille Cax, Camille Cax. What Monster High doll collab would you love to see? Scream, my favorite horror franchise of all time. Then this one is anonymous. How do you keep your collection dust free? Any tips? I don't dust my dolls. Okay, judge me. I don't get it. So my dolls are in the basement. There's not a ton of dust like up on the shelves and stuff. Like sometimes there is, but I don't really usually dust them. Maybe I should, because I know it's bad for them. But yeah. Thanks for exposing me. The Ghost Kid. Oh my God. I love you. Your energy is one of the best. I freaking love you. How you been holding up, bestie? I've been holding up just fine, trying to stay alive and breathing. So thank you for asking. Gina Family Dolls Life. Any updates on G3 Rochelle? By the way, love your content. Love you, love you, love you, love you. No updates. No updates. I want her. Rochelle is in my top 5. I definitely want her. But where is she? Great question. We got Rebecca coming, so maybe, and we already have Venus. Now we just need Rochelle. Jay Solano, do you like musicals? If yes, what is your favorite musical? I do. I didn't used to be, but after Mean Girls, the musical, like with Renee Rapp, which is one of my favorite artists of all time. Yeah, I love musicals. So I would say Mean Girls, the musical, and Wicked for Good. So yeah, obsessed. Also watched Wicked for Good, cried my eyes out. It was gorgeous, beautiful. All right, next one, Rita RJ. How is the High Doll project going? The concept art designs are so beautiful, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not involved like that. It's my friend. I think it's going great. Like, they did such a great job designing everything, and I will always, always, always vouch for them. I hope they go far. I hope those dolls get released. Absolutely love, love, love them, and I will always hype them up. But yeah, tofu in a box. Are there any dolls that you re-obtained from your childhood that you felt was a must-have? Yes, not dolls that I had, but dolls that I loved and wanted as a kid. They're still brand new in box, but I have the Daphne from Scooby-Doo, the Barbie live action. Then they're all Barbies, by the way, because that's mostly what I grew up with, and some of the Bratz as well, like the first wave of the Bratz in Rock Angels. I also got those, but for Barbie, the Princess and the Pauper Erica doll, and then Swan Lake, Barbie of Swan Lake, Odette doll. So all of those, love them. Who Killed Dan? Send me some questions here. Do you have any pets? And if you could own any animal, what would it be and why? I do have a cat and a dog, and that's about the animals that I would actually have. My cat's name is Sydney, and my dog's name's Dewey, as in Scream, if you've ever seen Scream. But if you got tasked with the job of creating a concept for a new Monster High doll line, what would it be called and based of? I think we deserve, like, I don't know, like a punk, like a Pretty and Punk Bratz type of vibes, like that, where they're all like very punk, but all the characters, like, they're all punk. I would love that. Anonymous question, favorite Cleo and Claudine doll? For Generation 1, I would say Real Drama, just because that's my favorite line. I just love the black and white with the pop-up colors. So yeah, pretty basic answer, but I just love that line so much. What character story do you resonate with the most? Say my name, just not username. Shannon, I love you, girl. I think the characters that I actually resonate with the most is Frankie, just because, you know, maybe I'm biased because Frankie's my actual, like, number one. But I just love that Frankie is, like, made out of different body parts, and they were created, and both in Generation 1 and Generation 3. I know Generation 1, she's still her. Frankie monsters. So they were, like, made out of different bodies. And I feel like as someone who has, like, multiple nationalities and, you know, I'm queer, and I just feel like Frankie just represents me. Also as her and their personality, both in Generation 1 and Generation 3, which personality-wise, they're very similar. And I feel like I have that same energy of, like, you know, I'm very curious, and I'm very interested in learning something new, almost like I was just born yesterday. Like, I'm 15 days old, like, hey. So, I don't know. I love Frankie. I could be here talking about Frankie forever. But yeah, so Frankie. Theodora, do you like the Izzy Dawn Dancer doll? I do. And, there's a second one. Is there any Monster High character you really don't like? I do like the doll, but I heard she's not really appropriate. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, just because I don't want to get into something that I don't know about. I never got into, like, the specifics, but I think she's very stereotypical, as are, like, a lot of Monster High Generation 1 dolls. And character that I don't like, Nephra in Generation 1, insufferable, and Toralei. I love the dolls, but I don't like the characters. Now, dolls, I don't like Mercedes King. I have her, and I'm staring at her right now. She's ugly. Moonlit Marina. If you could create your own ghoul or monster aesthetic monster, what would it be? I think my OC. So a boogie monster and with like a Sully from Monsters Inc. type of like aesthetic. That's more like that type of monster kind of thing. So yeah. Extermination. Favorite dolls that you have cleaned up? All of them. All of them. I feel like I don't want to play favorites because like every doll that every like hair that I do or like restoration, I'm like, that's the best one. That's the best one. It's always like whatever I just did. So I'm going to call myself out. Like I don't have one that I'm like, I did a really good, actually, Scaris, City of Frights, Jennifer Long. Cause I had to do like the little head bump thingy bun. And I did a really good job. Maybe that one, just because like it was a lot of work. And I was like, I nailed it. And I did that one. Let's go with that one. I have a things for trinkets. This is my bestie who helped me with the Barbie and I helped her with the creature from the Black Lagoon. Let's give him credit. How often do you have to stop yourself and really consider if you even want the doll? Girl, every time. Every time. Just because like we're so used to like buying dolls that I'm like, do I really want that doll? Like I need to take a step back and think like, cause Xenomorph, for example, like I wanted her at first and then I didn't. And then I feel like I bought her out of FOMO. But I don't regret it now, and I'm glad I did. So, like, it really depends, but I feel like I always try to think, like, hey, am I buying this doll for the right reasons? And if not, at least I'm self-aware that, you know what I'm saying? Amazing question. Megan Doll's bestie! 3 dolls that you could never unlove. Haunt Couture Draculaura, and Real Drama Frankie Stein, and only 3. Last one. Sweet Screams Twyla. There you go. One of each of my favorite characters. Period. Jasmine Lee. Bestie, I love you. Is there any new dolls that you're looking forward to? Not really, which is really sad because I think the most that I'm looking forward to is my Frankie Barbie that never shipped. So maybe that one. Obsessed. Juice Viper Fink. Oh, you're so sweet always. Hey, Beastie. I would like to know why male dolls are no longer being made. That is a great question for someone that works at Mattel that I will ask them if I have the opportunity. Why? Why? Because we want them. Because like people are like, oh, they don't sell as much. No, but they do. They would sell. I'm right there with you. And then In Love with Kane. What are your thoughts on the new Edward Scissorhands doll? And then also Emmanuel, who also sent me another question earlier, said, what's your opinion with the Edward Scissorhands doll? I did a video on my Instagram and my TikTok, like a short, like a reel kind of thing. And then I also talked a little bit about earlier today. So yeah, that's my opinion. I like it. I'll be getting it. Not the best, but I'll be getting it. What the Sigma asked, how much do you spend on these dolls, boo? A lot. Way too much. Should not. I should not. Poppy Burns, what is your favorite Monster High line? Real Drama. I love Real Drama so much. Felipe, if you had to choose one doll to say it's worth the scalper price, which one? Which one would it be? Oh my god. I think just because I just bought her, she wasn't worth it though. Like I feel like now that I'm in this headspace that I don't feel like we should be spending that much money on dolls. But I'll say Pennywise just because she was one of the very first or technically was one of the first, because it was her and the Grady twins that came out literally together. So yeah, she's the first as well ever. So I was like, okay, yeah, I get to say I have like the very first collector ever, and that I feel like that's very special and whatever, yada yada. But like, this is me trying to justify it. There's no justification, and I should be held accountable for it. but yeah, so that one, if so, And last but not least, Garden of Ethan sent me a few questions that I'll be saving some of them for future episodes. But what's your opinion on people who buy collector dolls to be the first few to have every collector? I think it's valid because, like I said, I'm a completionist when it comes to Generation 3. So I'm like sometimes I don't even want that doll, but I'm like, I'm just going to buy her because I need her in my collection. So I can sympathize. We can let that go. But I don't think there's anything like if you have the money. Okay, so I think like if you're not getting yourself into debt and things like that, and you just like want to be a completionist, I completely understand because sometimes so am I. Again, I'm like that with Generation 3. I will never pass on a Generation 3 doll, even though I don't really like every single one of them. That's again not encouraging that, nor should I be encouraging that. I'm just saying, I'm just being honest. But yeah, then another one of your questions, so I'll answer two. If there's one G3 doll you wish Monster High could make, who would it be? Oh my gosh, Rochelle. I need Rochelle Generation 3 more than I need Air. I need Rochelle. We need Rochelle. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these questions are so good, actually. I'm going to answer all of them. I'm sorry. You're going to have to send me more Please send me more questions later, Garland and Ethan, because I'll be responding to all of these today. Do you think Mattel should limit their dolls to one per person or the max of 3? One per person, period. What's the number one thing you dislike in the doll community and why? I dislike people who are not self-aware and who they think that sometimes they want to take the blame and they think they're better than everybody else. And also scalpers in the community that's there. Who's your favorite Monster High character and why? There you go. I already responded to that one. It's Frankie because I relate to Frankie so much, but then also Twyla and Draculaura. So I do have a top 3 that I'm a little biased, but if I had to pick one, number one ever, it would be Frankie. And then what's the most toxic thing you've ever seen in the doll community? Well, when I got scalped. When I got scalped by a community member, I was like, what the heck? What the heck? So that actually, Garden of Ethan, I'm sorry. I had to respond to all of these questions because they were really good and you really put into thought into it. And I could not let that go. So sorry. I just answered all the questions. I was going to save some, but there you go. Now, thank you so much, everyone. This is episode 2. That's crazy. We just finished here, and I hope you had the best time because I did. Let me know in the comments all your thoughts. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on all social media platforms at Matt Monster High. I've been loving this. I'm having the best time, and I hope you are too. So happy to be here, and I'll see you guys next week for episode 3. Bye, besties. Love you.